Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome to Fantasy NBA today. No fancy open, just getting down to business here. It's winning time. I don't know about you guys, but we are in the thick of it over here. I play a ton of roto leagues. I know Doc over here is in knee deep in a 30 deep championship slugfest. So I hope you guys are in the fun as well. We're going to jump right in. We got a weekend slate to cover. We're going to get you ready for your streaming action. We'll talk about some must-add options. We got some bets to go through. No shortage of things to talk about. Doc, how the hell are you, sir?
I am well. I'm doing well. How are you?
Terrible, but good. It's a good terrible. It's the fighting for your life in the fantasy playoffs kind of terrible, where you just stay up all night looking at every single angle that you could possibly look at in a basketball situation. So I love it. Let's get into it. We're looking at Friday with 10 games tonight, 5 games tomorrow, Saturday, 11 games Sunday. Man, Sunday is going to be a beast. And we'll look at next week tomorrow with Mark Camaro as well. So we got you covered all the different ways. Orlando Magic, they don't play this weekend, so just keep that in mind. We got some teams playing once, Minnesota, Brooklyn, Miami, Memphis, Philadelphia, and Washington. Just file that in the back of your memory banks there. And then we've got some potential streamers, Friday, Saturday, back-to-back games, Dallas, the Clippers, and Detroit. So we'll start there. So, Doc, amongst the Dallas, Clippers, and Detroit grouping, who are you liking as streamers so far in that trio?
You know, before we go there, I want to go backwards just a second. You mentioned the teams that have one more game this week, right? And the Orlando Magic have 0 games left this week. None on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. So I think it's very important. And Rick and I talked about this in the last show, but in case there's new viewers here, if you have anybody on Memphis, Miami, Minnesota, Orlando, Philadelphia, Washington, or Brooklyn, you got to seriously think about dropping them and picking up a 2-game guy. If you do it, just make sure that one of those games is on Saturday, because you may have too many guys playing on Friday or Sunday to have it matter that much to pick up a Friday, Sunday guy. But particularly if you own Franz Wagner or Paolo Banchero, it's over. And if you haven't looked ahead at the weekend yet, you may not know that. So make sure you're dropping these guys from, I'll say them again slow, you can write them down: Memphis, Miami, Minnesota, Philadelphia, Washington, and Brooklyn. They play 1 game. So maybe you hold on to Adem Bona for his Saturday game. I'm cool with that. But if you picked up Pelle Larsson, there's no reason to hold him anymore. Drop him. Go get a 2-gamer. And then again, Orlando, no more games this week. All right, bro. Let's talk about Dallas. And I will let you get your situation worked out over there with a microphone. Derek Lively is out, as far as I know, on Friday. So that makes Daniel Gafford a go. And in limited minutes in his last game, Gafford had 11 points, 6 rebounds, and a block. PJ Washington has not played in April yet. He's been out with an illness, I believe. I didn't see him on the injury report, so I think he might be a good play tonight, especially with Lively out. Spencer Dinwiddie had 14 points and 10 assists in his last game. I think you roll with him. And then Jaden Hardy in deep leagues. Last game, 13 points, 3 assists, a steal, and 3 triples. I think he's streamable in deeper leagues.
I heard practically none of that as my microphone went dead. I propped it back in, and then we're good to go. As far as Dallas and the Clippers and Detroit go, Dallas seems to have just a weird confluence of things going on. Like Najee Marshall's slid. You got a ton of big men entering the front court all at the same time. Kai Jones is pretty much out. It feels like he's kind of done for the year until maybe they get to some silly season if the things in the standings work out in their favor and they don't have to win a game. You know, that would be the only way that he comes back, and, you know, you'd see who gets in and out. And they also got to prepare for the playoff or play in, I should say. So there is some motivation, I would think, to keep these guys on the floor so they can get some rhythm together. I think they're going to try something unique in Dallas and play some big lineups. So you're going to have guys playing a little bit out of position. So I think that actually bodes well for these guys like Daniel Gafford. Derek Lively could get easily tossed into 20 minutes per game the rest of the way. Injuries be damned.
Is Lively out? Is Lively out tonight? I thought
he is out. He's out by this injury report that I'm looking at right here.
Okay. I thought so too.
Yeah.
So that makes Gafford to go all the way and maybe PJ Washington.
And they could alternate the two bigs, Gafford and Lively, the rest of the way as well. We're just going to have to watch and see if Dallas wins this next game and then if they lose this next game, Sacramento wins their next game. Sacramento torpedoing down toward the bottom of the standings, of course. And, but if that happens, then I think there would be more momentum for all of these guys to play. So it's a real touch and go situation. But Spencer Dinwiddie, somehow maybe in a really unique situation, you might give a look to Max Christie. He hasn't been good. You obviously know that already. And then just kind of keep an eye on the news out of Dallas. Clippers, Chris Dunn has been really good, I think, in the last one and sort of middling in the games prior to that. But you're going to start to see absences theoretically at some point whenever the Islands create themselves in the standings. So whether or not that helps you now in this game this weekend, I don't know, or these games this weekend, but with back-to-back action there for the Clippers, Kawhi Leonard's probably out for at least one of those games, and we'll see if anybody else gets knocked out of that game situation there. But Chris Dunn is probably the streamer that I like the best there because of the steals potential, as well as the potential that he just has a good game, followed by another good game after that. In Detroit,
Brew, I didn't talk about the Clippers.
Oh, go.
I just talked about Dallas. So my streamer for the Clippers is Bogey. Bogdanovich didn't do anything but score last game, but he had 16 points and hit 4 triples in that game. Hit 5 of 6 shots. He only had one steal, 1 rebound, and one block, or 1 rebound, 1 assist, and 1 steal. But Amir Coffey is banged up, and I feel like Bogey is going to get good runs. So I think Bogey and Dunn are the two guys to look at for the Clippers. And then, Brew, you talk about Detroit, and then I'll talk about Detroit.
Sure thing. And to add on Bogdanovich, he just looks like good Bogey right now. And that's probably him being a little bit healthy, catching his rhythm with the team after getting traded there. And that's just a nice little bonus note if you're considering Bogdanovich. As far as Detroit goes, the line, I forget off the top of my head, but it was huge. Here, let me grab that. Detroit was a double-digit favorite heading into last night, and they are this morning. Drum roll, please. It looks like they are 11.5-point favorites still over the Raptors in Toronto. To me, that tells me that Cade Cunningham's playing in this game. I don't see them having that number without that. Even with Toronto theoretically wanting to lose games, they've been better than that, in the world of tanking. So I don't see Detroit as an 11-point favorite without Cade. That means that the stats are going to get sucked back out of that box score. Some of the guys that you might have thought about playing won't be as good. I don't think there's any great streamer option there other than maybe like Dennis Schroeder. But Doc, who you got?
Well, Tobias Harris got hurt in his previous game. I don't see him on the injury report that I'm looking at, but that surprises me because it was like Achilles tendinopathy or whatever. And
yep.
nothing. I'd be kind of surprised if he plays tonight. So Tim Hardaway Jr., I don't have his game log pulled up. Brew, if you want to pull that up while I'm talking, that might be good. Hardaway Jr. in his last game had 23 points, 3 boards, 3 assists, 5 threes in 37 minutes. Dennis Schroeder had 15 points, 4 boards, 7 assists, and a 3 in 40 minutes. And I feel like Hardaway, do you have his game log?
I do. It's nice. 23 points on Wednesday. You got 20 points on Sunday against the Wolves. 32 points against Cleveland last Friday, and then it starts to normalize a little bit after that with kind of an average of about 12 points really just going off against some of the better teams in the league, and really
He's
responsible for that push that Detroit made prior to the, I guess, the push in the stands when they started losing again.
He's been hot for 3 games, and as long as Cade Cunningham's not playing, you want to run Schroeder out there. So those are the 2 big guys. If Harris is out, I think Malik Beasley and Fontecchio both get a bump as well.
I think Detroit's going to play well in this game. They had to face Oklahoma City after Minnesota. Oklahoma City is a scheduled loss at this point. They actually competed in that game for a little bit, more so than most teams, and they did it with the skeleton crew. They're hungry for a win, and I think that the percentages will be good for folks across the box score. And JB Bickerstaff's chance for Coaches of the Year, it just continues to get better with each day. Go JBB. All right. So, and I would probably lean into Dennis Schroeder's streamer value with or without Cade Cunningham. I think he's just the kind of guy right now. When you're looking at that section of the ranks and available producers, 12-team league, pretty competitive. I know the waiver wire gets a little easier to get players from in a head-to-head situation. Roto, maybe not so much, but I do trust Dennis Schroeder for a 2-game stretch in this kind of a situation. Let's get to what do we got here? We got practically the whole league.
Tobias Harris is out.
That's interesting.
Cade is a game time decision.
I wonder if that info is accurate, because that line that's a heavy line for Detroit on the road. Detroit doesn't carry a ton of market value, overall. I mean, they had been for their winning stretch been getting some pretty big chalky numbers, but yeah, interesting stuff there.
It's weird because it's only 12:50, so teams haven't even had shoot arounds yet, and so this information is hard to come by. But the site that I am looking at is listing Tobias Harris is out, and the expected starting lineup has Malik Beasley in it. So I don't know if that's how accurate it is, but I feel like I'll be surprised if Tobias Harris plays tonight. I thought he was going to be out.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I mean, most of the gambling world is sort of treating him as out. So I will defer to the masses. But again, that number to me, it just screams that everybody's playing. But Tobias probably doesn't move the numbers so much these days anyway. Let's say the rest of the league, for the most part, plays a Monday, Friday schedule over the weekend here. So rather than reading off the entire league here, or most of the league, and then we'll go into some teams. We got 4 teams that play Saturday and Sunday, which will be super critical for you head-to-head playoff GMs out there. But out of this just muck of teams, who rose to the tops of your list, Doc? Probably about 15 different teams here.
Brew, I think you said Monday, Friday. And I think what you meant to say was Friday, Sunday.
Honestly, I don't even know my name right now. So thank you, Doc. At least it's not Andre giving me the feedback.
So there's a ton of teams that play on both Friday and Sunday. So you got to be careful with your lineups on those days, because you could make a pickup of a guy that plays Friday and Sunday, and you don't even have room to play him either day. So I'm not going to list all the teams, but Boston is one of those. So you play that by ear. You see who's out for Boston. If Al Horford and Kristaps Porzingis are out, you play Luke Cornett and you don't ask questions. If Derek White or Drew Holiday are out, you play Peyton Pritchard and you don't really ask questions. Pritchard and Cornett, I think, are the 2 guys in Boston. In Portland, Rick and I kind of think Anthony Simons might be shut down for the year. He's out with a forearm injury. One of the places I just looked said that he's out tonight. I don't know how accurate that is. But if he's out, Delano Banton is the man. Banton had a huge game last night. He was 8 of 19, only 2 of 10 from 3-point land, or it would have been really good. He had 2 threes, 3 steals, 23 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. So If Simon continues to miss games, you definitely want to roll with Banton. And then with Duop Reith and Tumani Kamara both hurt, I think Kamara might be done. Donovan Clingan is now back in play because no Reith. And then Matisse Steibel has 8 steals in his last 2 games. So he's got to look at. And then Jabari Walker might make some noise as well. And then in Charlotte, KJ Simpson is kind of a must-have guy right now. Drew, I've got a ton more. I don't know how much of these you want me to run through.
Man, I'm enjoying this so much. You could just dump them all onto the screen for us. I think maybe you stopped in Charlotte there. Cleveland.
And I skipped Indiana because
you just don't like Indiana. Okay, I got that. No, I like. I'll start to kind of picking up toward the back end of this list. In Cleveland, DeAndre Hunter, it feels like it might be his time to shine at some point here as Cleveland eventually starts resting guys. You got Ty Jerome. What a sad trombone sound for the Ty Jerome pickup from a few weeks back. The knee tendonitis has knocked his upside out, so he's in the rest group with the rest of them. And Hunter might be a guy that profiles well to rest. Max Strus might be a guy that profiles well to rest. These are guys that have dealt with injuries, but they would be the logical places for big stat lines to show up. I even have in a field goal percentage play situation, I have Craig Porter Jr. in a lineup, and maybe somebody like that reaches up to the stars out of nowhere. Don't pick that guy up, by the way. Chicago, probably, Zach Collins has made some noise lately. So, if you're kind of really desperate and looking for a big man there, he could be worth a look. In Utah, it's all the usual suspects in Utah. Isaiah Collier, we'll probably talk about him in a second here with our waiver wire ads. He's been good. In Sacramento, I don't think anybody, if Keon Ellis is somehow on your waiver wire, go ahead and give him a pickup. Los Angeles Lakers, man, Rui Hachimura, and that's about it. He had the big game. Go ahead.
Rui, I believe, has been ruled out.
Yeah,
Friday. Yeah. So that means he's only a Sunday, and I had him on my list too. But I think the fact he's hurt or at least resting or not playing on Friday takes him off the list. I agree. Keon and Malik Monk. If Malik Monk was dropped because he's been so bad since he got moved to the bench. Utah, I think Collier, Filipowski, and Sensabaugh, all 3 of those guys are worth a look. And then in Chicago, Brew, you may not have noticed this. I didn't notice it until I was combing box scores. But Taylor Horton-Tucker.
I know that guy. Nuts. Isn't that hilarious?
27 points, 6 boards, 3 assists, 3 threes, 3 steals. No, 3 threes in his last game.
He's like 22 years old, and he looks like he's 42 years old, and he plays like he's 42 years old.
If you're super deep in super deep league and there's nothing on your waiver wire, Taylor Horton-Tucker might be worth a look. And then, of course, if Kevin Huerter's sitting out there, I think you want him too.
The interesting thing about Chicago is they've sort of played their way into a potential, maybe if everything goes super well for them, 8 seed instead of a 10 seed, which, takes you up a tier in the play-in. I think they're the type of squad and organization that would play for that kind of thing. 6-4 in their last 10 games, some decent momentum, this new team build, and I think teams are taking them lightly as worked out well for them.
Would you mess with Buzelis for 2 games?
Yeah, absolutely. He's actually been pretty good lately, and I think this is lining up. Pardon me, allergy season is a fun thing out here. I wonder if, as the games tighten up, if Chicago gets into some high leverage games here down the stretch against some other teams, Chicago's schedule, I'll pull it up here just to kind of get some texture to that. But he's been a mid-round guy over the last couple weeks, and that's been a bit of a surprise because there was a lot of hype when he got picked up about a month and a half ago. Then you had the non-performance, and I think a lot of folks had some buyer's remorse there. So maybe going underneath the radar a little bit, hard to say. He's kind of a buzzy name, so maybe he's stuck on rosters. But They're going to get Charlotte and Cleveland on Sunday and Tuesday. Cleveland a schedule loss probably, unless Cleveland completely mails it in. And then they're going to get Miami in a close, tight matchup for seeding. So that game plays out well. And then they're going to get Washington and Philadelphia, who are trying to lose games. So they could easily, with Charlotte, Washington, and Philadelphia, and Portland, who looks like they've given up as remaining games on the last 6 games of their schedule, Chicago could be in this thing. And I don't see teams that are so good. The OKCs, there's one Cleveland on the board here that could kind of wreck a box score. Bazelis has a great chance, I think, to be good the rest of the way. Who else is on this list here? We got San Antonio. Pardon me. Julian Champagny. Yeah. Is that who you're referring to? Is that who's our man?
Julian Champagny is my man. He's been playing pretty well lately. Harry Barnes, Harry B.
That was not my man. I'm just going to throw that out there.
I
love Harrison Barnes, the Senator. Harrison Barnes.
He's on fire right now. I think he's had 24 and 20 in his last 2 games. Some steals, some rebounds. Rick made fun of me yesterday when I was talking about Harry B. Because I was like, I'm kind of feeling it right now. He's rolling. San Antonio has 2 games left this week, and he's playing well. Hopefully
this feels like
him out there.
This is a residue from the Luka Doncic argument that you guys keep having.
No.
Okay, just checking.
No, he got his Luka digs in today, though. Trust me.
Toronto's an interesting streaming place right now. There's a bunch of streamers there. You got Jamal Shed, Jacoby Walter, Jonathan Mobo has been not terrible statistically. Who else?
Orlando
Robinson. Yep, he's been.
O-Rob started last game. If Jakob Poeltl starts, you might want to pump the brakes on O-Rob. If Poeltl's out, you put him in and you don't ask questions. And even when Poeltl played last time, Robinson had a decent game off the bench. So I'm kind of feeling Orlando Robinson.
Yeah, Toronto, 28 wins and nobody near them in the standings. So their position draft-wise is basically locked. So they could throw Poeltl in there. Probably not trying to risk late season injuries. Maybe they want to see what they got in Mobo. Mobo kind of hides from the statistics at this stage in his career, so it's a little tough to trust him, but not terrible over the last, say, 2 weeks. And then let's see, New Orleans. You gotta think Carlo Matkovic is going to get his day in the sun. But what else you got in New Orleans?
Well, there are 6 guys that might be available that you need to think about, and 5 of them I trust, and those 5 are Kelly Olynyk, Bruce Brown, Yves Missi, Jose Alvarado, and whatever his name Matkovic is. Matkovic is a little shaky at times, but he's still going to get run. And then there's Antonio Reeves, but Reeves is more of I think he's more of just a shooter, and he's going to score, but he doesn't get the fantasy goodness that we look for. But Olynyk, Brown, Missi, Alvarado, I mean, I think those guys should be rostered most places.
Yeah, agree on all counts there. What we got, so Golden State, I mean, Pajemski's obviously no longer a streamer. He's just been going off. So that's fun. They just played last night and won. So
yeah, Kuminga came off the bench, had 18 points, 9 boards, 4 assists, and a block and a 3. That's kind of exciting if he's somehow available in your league, because he's been injured, he's been quiet. So Moses Moody, I don't really trust him, but he had 13 points, 2 boards, 3 assists, 3 steals, and a 3, I think. Man, I started typing this out on my computer instead of writing it because I couldn't read my own handwriting. But now the shorthand that I'm doing here, I can't even tell what the heck's going on. I think he had 3 3-pointers is what that is. That was last night against the Lakers. So Moody, if you're desperate, I think he works.
Yeah. And if Jimmy Butler, I think he roll his ankle in
I think
last night's game?
I think he may not be playing tonight.
Yeah, and more on that later in the betting section. Golden State, where'd they go? Denver. He's playing. He'll play that game.
He needs to, because that is
And
a
actually,
massive game.
now that I've had at least like a third of my second cup of the coffee here, I do believe Steve Kerr last night said that everybody was a go for this game here tonight.
Yeah, and Jimmy, the expected lineup that I'm looking at, it looks like he's in. But they need to win that game. Like the standings, it's crazy. Golden State plays Denver tonight, right?
Yeah, they play Denver, and I'm glad you brought that up.
So
if you want to rattle it off,
they can cut it to only be in a half game behind Denver, and they can leapfrog. Well, they're not going to leapfrog Los Angeles, but they can bring Los Angeles down closer to the Lakers. So, because the Nuggets are at 17.5 back, Lakers are 18, Golden State's 19. So that's a huge game, man.
You got between the 3 seed, I mean, if 4 seed, whatever, you got 2.5 games separating 8 and 3 right now. That's actually that number will get less daunting in about 2 games. You see the little islands in the standings form. But it's great for business. I mean, everybody's going to play hard. We're going to see great basketball. We'll get playoff level basketball probably for a couple games here until teams sort of figure out what they want to do with things. Some teams like to aim for an opponent. Some teams like to fade that strategy. And we get to kind of parse it out as we go. We've also got in this group.
Speaking of the Lakers being in a playoff race, Luka plays at Dallas on ESPN on Wednesday, April 9th. That's
the return game? That didn't already happen.
This coming Wednesday.
This
Lakers
is it?
At Dallas.
Oh my God. Okay. That's waking me up a little bit. I can't wait for that. Whew. Yeah. Okay. That's oh man. So Wednesday night.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
I'm
marking it on the calendar. We got so we're at I think we didn't really get into Denver too much. I gotta imagine all these guys play in this game. They've had a bunch of absences. If I've been Peyton Watson's probably somebody to keep an eye on from a waiver or from a streamer perspective. Beyond that, I think you could probably wait and see. Oklahoma City's interesting. Aaron Wiggins just came off the injury list. And that was a little bit of a buzzkill because you're looking for the Wiggins, the Isaiah Joes. Cason Wallace shouldn't be available in fantasy leagues, though he's constantly being talked about in a waiver wire streaming context. But that group is especially scintillating when OKC goes to the second unit and lets those guys kind of carry the game. It feels like Oklahoma City is going to just keep playing.
They've got the Lakers back to back on Sunday and Tuesday.
Yeah, one of those games has got to be let the second unit play.
I don't know. Especially if they could meet in the playoffs. I could see Oklahoma City being like, "We don't care what y'all do. Y'all are playing it down there below us.
Why?
You can do
it.
We don't care.
Why give Los Angeles reps against you when Los Angeles is still trying to figure out this group of Luka and LeBron and my guy
if Oklahoma lets the Lakers win both those games, that would be huge for the Lakers, man. They need that.
They want that,
and they've got New Orleans on Friday. New Orleans Friday, at Oklahoma City Sunday, at Oklahoma City Tuesday, at Dallas on Wednesday.
I don't think is Oklahoma City going to play the target a matchup game? I don't think they care.
There's a lot going on here because is that Tuesday, Wednesday, back to back at Oklahoma City, at Dallas. Surely to God, the Lakers would not rest Luka in Dallas, right?
I'm laughing because I just want to. I mean, that would be hilarious if they.
They can't do that.
That would.
They might rest him on Tuesday though at Oklahoma City. You just have to watch the news on the Lakers, man, because it's going to be a wild finish.
How hurt is Luka is always this subplot that never goes away. Really interesting. Like looking at the West, I would want to play Houston, and I would want to play Memphis, and I probably would want to play Minnesota. I probably wouldn't want to play the Clippers in relation to whatever their seed ends up being. And so I don't know if teams are going to angle. I mean, Houston's on an island. They're into, OKC's in 1. So those are locked in. And so there's not a lot of like maneuverability for like an OKC. Houston, they're not maneuvering at all. Denver probably. I mean, you want to probably stay out of the 4 seed to stay away from Oklahoma City as much as possible. Anyway, so we look at these standings and we just kind of try to figure it out. OKC has a lot of streamer options with upside. If it feels like Wiggins could be just taking time off and then coming in to have a big game, that's a little bit of lucky thinking, but it is what it is. We got Phoenix, I think, is the last team in this grouping that might be worth a look. I like covering them here because I don't think any of these guys are like screaming hot waiver wire pickups for our top waiver wire pickups segment we'll do here in a bit. But I do want to point out, you got Bradley Beal coming back. He's one basketball dribble away from hurting himself. He's a decent pickup and play here in his own right. But no Kevin Durant. It feels like Phoenix has given up on their season. So I'm looking at Tyus Jones. I'm looking at Ryan Dunn. I'm looking at Royce O'Neal. That trio, Osa Ighodaro, probably at some point will be relevant. I think when Phoenix falls out mathematically, if that happens, then you're going to start to see those the aforementioned maybe minus Royce O'Neal start to get more run. And if you're playing beyond this week, that becomes more valuable. But even this weekend with no KD, somewhere the stats got to go somewhere. So I'm looking at all.
Did
Grayson,
you mention Gillespie?
Did not. I should have.
Last game, 18 points, 2 boards, 4 assists, 2 steals, 4 threes, 36 minutes. He's starting over Tyus Jones. I think Gillespie is a great ad right now.
He's the proverbial winning basketball player, and that's good stuff. Grayson Allen, I didn't mention.
Grayson Allen went off. Grayson Allen went off his last game, 23 and 6 threes. But Royce O'Neal was out with an illness in that game. So O'Neal's probably going to be back for the next one. And this is Phoenix, and they're revolting against Coach Bud. So it's hard to say what anybody's going to do. But I like O'Neal. I love Gillespie. And I'm intrigued by your boy, Grayson Allen.
Thank you for that.
And then in Houston, just real quick, Dylan Brooks is suspended tonight on Friday. So it should be a Tari Eason game.
Yeah. My opposing squads have Tari Eason on them, and I'm not happy about that because he is probably going to go off. All right, let's get out of these Friday, Sunday matchups, and let's get into the it's ugly. It's ugly. If you're trying to win a playoff matchup Saturday, Sunday, and you're looking to stream those 2 days, you get New York, you get Charlotte, you get Atlanta, and you get Milwaukee. This is really terrible, from a streaming perspective. But who do you like out of this quadro group of teams here?
I wanted to say DeLon Wright, but we got news yesterday that Jalen Brunson is likely to play on either Saturday or Sunday. With Brunson coming back, DeLon Wright is going to go bye-bye, I'm afraid. So
Deuce McBride practiced today.
Deuce McBride practice. Like there's literally no one in New York worth picking up unless Cat gets hurt again and Mitchell Robinson becomes a thing. Precious Achua, but there's nothing there. Do you have anybody in New York?
No, not at all. I'm looking at your guy Damian Baugh in Charlotte. Kidding.
I think my guy Damian Baugh got hurt last game. I don't know if he's playing tonight or not, or tomorrow. I'm kind of
Charlotte got a little bit less ugly with the performances lately from Yusuf Nurkic. You mentioned KJ Simpson. I don't know if I could trust him, but you seem to like him, so that bumps him up.
He's playing 30 minutes a game, and he's starting, and there's nobody else to play point guard there. So, Yeah, his last game was 9 points, 5 boards, 4 assists, a block, and a 3.
That's great. That's
I
great
mean,
for a Charlotte box score.
I'll take it. Seth Curry played well in his last game, but I don't trust him at all. I mean, I think KJ Simpson and maybe Nurk. I don't know if I can trust Nurk.
Yeah. I mean, it's categories, right? Like, you go into Saturday, Sunday, and you're just looking to win field goal percentage or something. Not that Nurk would help you there as much. So you really just got to kind of get in there. Maybe it's rebounds and Moussa Diabate somehow rises to the 30-minute threshold in a game and get you a bunch of rebounds. Nick Smith Jr., currently questionable. Maybe you could look at him for some points and threes. It's just such a wasteland for fantasy value. Not much.
And
cooking
same with Atlanta. Atlanta's the same way. The next team, LeVert, 14, 4, and 5, and a steal and a 3 in his last game. But before that, he'd been really shaky. Vic Krejci, 13 with 3 triples in his last game. Zach Risache has been garbage since his 36-point explosion. He's due for a bounce back, I think. So those are the 3 guys I'd look at in Atlanta. You got anybody on top of them?
No, Mo Gay. It's been a bad 6 games for him. Just 0.8 combined defensive stats, 13.5 minutes per game. So maybe you are, when you get to the weekend and you're like, I'm just desperate. Pardon me. I need a player. I need some steals and blocks. Hang on. Oh yeah. Cough button. Here we are.
Oh,
yeah, I'm back.
Okay. You want to move on to Milwaukee?
Yeah, let's move on to Milwaukee because there's all the names are bad, and in Milwaukee the names are bad. Who do you like the best?
I'm going to shock you with this one.
Oh, good.
Taurean Prince. Last 2 games, he's averaging 14 points, 3 rebounds. 14 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 0.5 blocks, and a steal, and 3 threes. And he's shooting like 75% from the floor over his last 2 games. I don't love Taurean Prince. I'm not recommending that you run out and pick Taurean Prince up. But if you're in a desperate situation and you need a warm body, Prince is playing pretty good. And then Ryan Rollins was garbage in his last game. I think he had 10 points, did not get it done. But yeah, 10 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 threes. But he played 29 minutes. He came into that game on fire. And that was that game last night when Giannis had like 35 points, 20 rebounds, and 20 assists. So there was no goodies left for anybody else, including my guy. I just lost my place.
Your guy.
My guy, Ryan Rollins. So to me, out of all the players we talk about for Saturday, Sunday here, Ryan Rollins is probably the best one. Bad game last night, but 3 before that, he's just been cooking. Gary Trent's due for a big game.
Yeah, I'd be gambling on Kevin Porter Jr., I think. But I'm just looking for upside at that point. It's a pretty easy schedule for Milwaukee, Miami, and New Orleans. And so especially as you start to test some of that second unit depth for like New Orleans, for example, maybe Kevin Porter, pardon me, gets the job done. Milwaukee's still fighting with Detroit for the 5 seed. It looks like Indy has the 4 seed pretty much locked up. So if you get a matchup with the Pacers, I think that's a really desirable thing for both squads, Milwaukee and Detroit. So they will battle that out till the end. I don't know that changes the dynamic much, but at least it keeps the games tight and interesting.
Well, Kevin Porter Jr. blows up about once every 10 days. And the last time he blew up is about 10 days ago. So I agree that KPJ is due for a big game, but there's 23 teams that play 2 games this weekend. So
yeah, it's tough.
Surely you can find somebody more reliable than KPJ right now. If you're super deep though, he might be one of the best ones available. So I do think he will pop in either the Saturday or Sunday game. But I love Ryan Rollins for both.
So we have talked about the entire league here, and we're going to shift into the top waiver wire ads and curate this list of fantasy value. Who do you like, Doc, as your best plays to add, streaming aside, rest of season?
They only have one game this week. It's on Saturday. Adem Bona, man.
Tough.
13 of 15 last night, 28 points, 6 boards, 2 steals, 3 blocks. I mean, just money. The one game sucks. But if we're talking about picking these guys up for next week, Philly plays 4 games. And
they got no reason not to play him.
And they got no reason not to play him. And Yabu Sele also went off last night with 22, 6, and 3 with 4 triples. And again, 4 games for him. He had been struggling. He had not been playing very well. So I don't trust him that much. But I love Bona the rest of the way for the last 5 games.
Top 24, I think, since the last 2 or 3 weeks went on the floor. He's clearly the silly season pickup of the year so far. Just powering my squads. I know you're locked up with Mike Passador in a crazy. I looked at the standings in your 30 deep matchup, Doc. You can win you can flip the percentages, and I think you got one other category that you're close in, and you can take this to a final week in the silliest week of the year.
It's gonna be tough though.
We use the entire cow to create the 30 deep season here, and we decided with the last week in a tiebreaker situation. I think it's hilarious. No other way to do it with 30 teams in that respect. But yeah, and then Bona I'm looking at 10 of 13 high stakes teams that are competing for a top 3 right now, and Bona has been powering them all. With the field goal percentage, the steals, the blocks, the points, the boards. I mean, it's been wild. And I got one team that's in second place for the overall, slight underdog to the number 1 leading team, which has some exposure there. And we'll see if I can run the gauntlet and take home the entire thing. But just what a run here for Bona. Who else you got as your top pickups as we
Bub Carrington. Bub Carrington, 2 games left this week, 4 next week. Last night, dude, 12 of 18, 7 3-pointers, 32 points, 9 boards, 7 assists. That is the Bub game I think we've been waiting for all year, right? Like, he's got it. Like, who else is going to play? We've been talking about him all year, but man, he finally exploded, and I was happy to see it. Brandon Pajemski shouldn't be available, but he popped last night. Kuminga, I mentioned. Davion Mitchell, Brew.
Oh, yeah.
Is quietly doing stuff. 37 minutes last night. 11 points, 3 steals, 4 rebounds, 7 assists. 2 games left this week, 4 games next week. They're playing him 35 minutes a night. Terry Rozier is a forgotten man. Jaime Jaquez, forgotten. It's all Davion Mitchell now, and I think he's a hot pickup.
They love him there, and he fits everything that the Heat culture stands for. I'm kind of using some air quotes because they've had a really rough season there. Other names that I think rise to the top of the list. Obviously, if Cason Wallace is available, go pick him up. Aaron Wiggins, I think, is interesting. I don't know about must-add material because it's a really shaky situation. Baselis, I think, rises to the top of the list. Neesmith somehow gets forgotten in fantasy leagues sometimes, and I think at some point in time, my top one, TJ McConnell. TJ McConnell, not my top. I mean, Bona's got to be a must-own player at this point, but McConnell. This is just a hunch. He's been better in the last couple of games, but when you've got Tyrese Halliburton with the kind of back injury he's had all season, and they don't have much to play for here. Like if they get one more win, in Indy. I think they're on cruise control the rest of the way. I don't think they're going to kind of look at New York and say, oh, we can, catch up in a 3-game, distance right now. They're 3 games behind the New York Knicks. I don't think they're going to try to catch them. They're going to fall back to 19 games back with Milwaukee and Detroit. So anyway, TJ McConnell has this unique ability to just at some point in time get red hot and start putting up crazy stat lines like 25-5 with 3 steals and great percentages, or at least good field goal percentage and some threes as well. Not many threes, but when he goes big, he goes big. So I like TJ McConnell, Keon Johnson. I think the Brooklyn's been a little quiet there. It's a 3-game week this week and all sorts of noise in the box score and not a lot of performance out of guys. And then you get 4 games this upcoming week. And it feels like Keon Johnson might finally just get the keys and go. Who else?
I don't think TJ McConnell has started a game this year.
Nope.
And even when Ty Halliburton has been out, McConnell has not been very good this year. Mm-hmm. Last year, he had several like monster games like you were talking about. And I could totally see it happening if they start resting guys, because he hadn't played much all year, and he's not.
This is hunch territory.
Yeah,
this is
your Damian Baugh.
This is. I see things. I see the future.
Yeah. And I was gonna talk about Damian Baugh, who was 1 of 9 for 2 points in the game when he returned to Charlotte. He's eligible to play in all of Charlotte's game, but at the end of that last game, when he shot 1 of 9, he fell really hard and hurt his back. I don't know if he's going to play in their next game or not, which I think is Saturday, right? They play tomorrow. Is that right? Mm-hmm. Oh no, they play tonight. They play Sacramento tonight. So I don't know if he's going to play in that one or not. If Damian Baugh plays against Sacramento,
watch out.
He might be. Huh?
Nothing. Just saying things.
He might be worth a look if you are desperate for a streamer. Sacramento's fall has been incredible, by the way. They are terrible.
Oh, look. I know a dead Sacramento team when I see one. This thing has Titanic written all over it, and it starts with Domantas Sabonis wanting out. Maybe. But and then DeMar DeRozan naturally being on his way out, and Zach LaVine can't shake anybody to save his life. So I'm sure he's kind of wondering about things, and I'm sure the team, maybe Vivek's like, oh my God, it didn't work out. And anyway, Sacramento, when they're not playing hard, it's usually something an organizational side is rotten, and that's been the case for as long as I've covered that team. That'll be a good time to get into bets here. But lastly, I do want to point out that at some point in time, Jeff Doughton Jr., I think you just want to kind of keep him in the Rolodex because there are 5 games left. He has 2 games of eligibility. And with each passing game that he's inactive, it becomes more likely that he'll run the table at some point. I think there's going to be a 2-game stretch, possibly the last 2 games of the season, where they turn and give him the ball. Okay, let's get to bets real quick.
I've got situations to watch that I'd like to hit real quick.
Sure.
3 situations to watch this weekend. Jalen Brunson is going to play Saturday or Sunday, so obviously that's major news. Keep an eye on that. Can Davion Mitchell stay hot because he's been great for like the last 10 days? Can Pell Larson and Ryan Rollins bounce back from their crappy Thursday performances? And is Malik Monk going to start over Keon Ellis in a desperate push to get Sacramento into the playoffs? Because starting Keon and bringing Monk off the bench is not working. So I'm curious. I'm curious.
You had to, we're getting to wrap it up from Andre. Do you want to toss that out there?
Well, we don't have to go into it.
No.
Let's talk betting.
we'll talk betting. I want to watch the Indiana thing because I think Tyrese being out, it takes a ton of stats out of the box score. Any way you slice it, it brings a lot of players up above the cut line. So all the normal streamer talk, you could kind of just like focus your attention there. I don't know why Toronto's kind of got my eye a little bit. Just a lot of random names floating around the box score. Same kind of vibe for Brooklyn. Philly's obviously always on the radar. Washington, all of our guys are in and playing, so there's not a lot to watch for there. Just like to see better performances out of like Justin Champetti, who's been good, not great.
Yeah.
I think that might be it for my team's interest heading into the weekend. Now, on the bet side, I had 5 bets that came to mind.
Wow.
Some I like better than others, but why don't you go first, Doc?
I've got 5 or 6 right now, but the ones I like the Nuggets getting a 1.5 at Golden State. Golden State played last night, may have emptied the tank. The Nuggets took the day off on Wednesday, much to my chagrin, as I may have had some cash on them. The Nuggets' entire team took the night off on Wednesday, so they should be healthy, rested, fresh. They're in a playoff position war with the Nuggets. So that'll be a good game. I like the Nuggets getting the 1.5. I like Houston at home getting 6.5 against the Thunder. I generally think the Thunder are going to blow everybody out, but this is sort of like the Thunder playing against the Thunder. Houston's so good defensively. They're so young. So I like Houston getting 6.5. And then I kind of like the Hornets getting 11.5 at home against the Kings. Those are my 3.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So we're aligned on a couple of these. I'm not feeling great about the Charlotte plus 10.5 or whatever the number is this morning. I mean, this logically from like if this wasn't Sacramento, just looking at this, if they were any other team, you'd go, all right, they've lost their first 2 games embarrassingly on the road. They've got to answer the bell, and they need to win. This should be like easy work for them. But if there's organizational rot, then this is a great bet for Charlotte. And so I guess you're betting on is there organizational rot, because the organizational rot will show up on the floor. But I do have Charlotte here plus 10 for a one bet. Then we were aligned on Denver. I really like this bet a lot. Golden State, yeah, they played last night. They got their win. I don't think that they're going to come into this game sort of like unprofessionally. I think they will show up in this game. But with the way Denver lost in their last game, prior to resting all of the starters with the Russell Westbrook incident and playing such a big game with such emotion, like I think they're going to be foaming at the mouth in this game. So I like Denver a lot. I'd probably go at least a unit and a half or maybe even 2 units on that game. I was against you on Oklahoma City. I've just seen too much wreckage for Oklahoma City in the box score, meaning they're wrecking the other team. I do agree that Houston's going to play up in this game and that they can be good. But when it comes to Alperen Şengün against this kind of a team that draws fouls the way that they do with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and can play the pick and roll and just pick him personally apart, I think that could get ugly really, really quick. So I'll take the other side of that one. I won't go overboard. I'll just do it for a unit. I like Chicago -6 against Portland. They are playing, like I said, to maybe improve that playoff seeding in the play-in game. And it feels like, you alluded to it earlier with Anthony Simons, it feels like Portland's given up. And they don't have a reason to, because they're 2.5 games behind Sacramento, but Phoenix is giving up. I don't think teams care about the play-in so much. Some teams do, some teams don't. So I don't think Portland's gunning for it, and I think Chicago is, and I think that they've got the momentum. So I like Chicago -6 against Portland, and I also like Dallas plus 9.5 against the Clippers. This is existential for them in the sense that they're the 9 seed, and they need to do everything they can to keep that home game. If they win this game, they can fend off Sacramento kind of for all intents and purposes. If they lose this game, it's a race. So I like the motivational level there.
I too like the Bulls -6.5 at home against the Blazers. Speaking of the Blazers, my props, the first one I had written down just because I saw it. I don't think it's going to happen, but Anthony Simons I don't think he's going to play, but if he plays, his over-under for points is 21.5. I'm going under. He hasn't played in forever. I just don't think he can score 22 points in a game where the Bulls are going to be trying really hard. Malik Monk over 15.5 points. I'm going to do that because I feel like he's due to blow up. And I feel like he's been pouting. He's mad that he got benched. He's been pouting.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe they'll put him in the starting lineup tonight. I don't know.
Maybe that's why he missed a couple games. I don't know.
But I feel like Malik Monk is due for a good game.
Look, Doug Christie's trying to save Malik Monk's mind right now. He's put Malik Monk in the game at the expense of Keon Ellis and to the detriment of his basketball team. That's how much he's like literally saying to Malik, "Hey, man, I'm going to give you every opportunity to fix this thing." And I think he's going to go down with the ship, Doug Christie, not just because of the organizational pressure, but that is his style of coaching. He doesn't want to lose his guy. And so, yeah, that could very well be a big game for Malik Monk. It could also be a 1 for 14 clunker. Can't believe he did that to me, Malik Monk. All right, guys. We got one more. Oh, let's go.
I've got two quick ones, and then we're gone. Pascal Siakam, his over-under right now is 21.5 points. He has scored 15 or fewer points in 6 straight games. I'm going the under on Siakam.
Oh, you're right.
Keon Ellis is under 8.5 points. He's gone 0, 9, and 2 in his last 3. Monk's coming on. I think Ellis is going to not score 9 points. I'm done.
Yeah, it's really, really tough for Keon Ellis right now, and he still gets you 3 steals and he gets you a block in his 22 minutes the other night. One thing about Sacramento that's a little bit favorable for all of these players is Charlotte is a cake matchup, and that might be the get right game for them and the rising tide to lift all boats. But it's when things go bad for them in the box score in Sacramento, a guy like Keon Ellis can go 0 points like super quick. And that obviously isn't his value proposition, but it makes everything else a lot harder. Okay, we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you guys. I didn't do a lot of reads or sponsor stuff or anything like that during the show, but I will ask for this one thing. We are investing a ton in the platform right now. We want to get your feedback. Let us know what you would like to see both on the website in terms of tools, membership features, social stuff, you name it. Just hit us up. You can send it on into support@sportsethos.com. We want to get it in the workflow and get it ready for this upcoming season. So thank you guys very much for that. That's going to do it for this show. We're going to have Mark Camaro on tomorrow. That'll be fun. Going to talk a lot of Dynasty and get you ready for the week ahead. Doc, we will see you there as well. So see you tomorrow.
Week ahead.
And thank you, Andre, for producing another great show as usual. That's going to do it for us. This is Fantasy NBA Today, a Sports Ethos presentation. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, be well.